Hey everyone, I'm Tom Northrop, but you may know me better as Omega Man. I'm not sure how many of you guys are still followers, but I just wanted to give some updates if you guys are curious about my lack of activity. I've been very out of touch over the years, and I've never been good with self-promotion and social media. I compose and upload music infrequently, so I've fallen into obscurity. First, I need to thank all of you who subscribed and listened to my music over the years. Since I've never been really in touch with social media, I've never made any videos for the now mandatory subscriber milestones. I joined YouTube at a time where that wasn't a big deal, so that never really got embedded in my mind as a priority. But I thank all of you for continuing to listen, and I appreciate all the feedback, both positive and negative, that have helped me improve as a composer. If you're curious about what I'm doing now, there are several things. I've been under a lot of stress within the past several months between projects and personal issues, and before then having an interesting job situation, and then trying to go freelance with illustration and concept art. So music has always been more of a hobby rather than a focus for me, but this doesn't mean I'm going to stop composing by any means. I'm actually researching ways to continue making music that will help further my career opportunities, still keeping that open. So in that regard, I may be marketing my music a little bit more professionally in the future. To start, I have a Halloween album that I worked on last year that I failed to share with YouTube due to some reasons. I actually had a cover song in that, and I wanted to actually try selling it, so I uploaded it through Louder and sold a few physical copies that I had to hand assemble at a art venue. It took some time to get the album up on Louder due to acquiring the license for a cover song. So due to some mismatched timing there, I just failed to spread the word as effectively as I could. The album's called ScareCade, a Chiptune Halloween. You can find it on Louder for $10 as a whole album, or $1 per track. You can check this video description for the link to that page if you're willing to purchase that. I will also be uploading those tracks to YouTube as well, though I will be insisting that you, if possible, purchase the ones on Louder, so that can help cover the licensing costs. And then you'll just have that for next Halloween when that comes around. But what does this all mean? Not much just yet. For the time being, I'm going to continue uploading music to YouTube for you guys to listen to. I've done a lot of research on copyright and fair use, so I may in the future cut back on the amount of cover songs or arrangements and remixes I do, and then focus a bit more on original tunes. I just don't want to risk getting into some trouble, you know. The most significant change that could happen is I stop using Mediafire like I have been to share the tracks with you guys, and then switch to something like, again, I could use Louder again to help with cover songs and arrangements, since they handle the licensing and royalties for you if you just do it straight as a digital download from them. So it's really convenient if you're into that. I feel like that music like this, like fan music for video games and fan remixes and all that, should still be free if you're going to provide it free. I mean, no harm done to the real songs; those are still going to be in demand. I may look at Bandcamp in that regard. I can tell that it has the for a lot of albums I've seen, the pay your own price option, which I'm not sure exactly how that works, because a while back I didn't think they allowed that. You'll be, or at least they didn't allow it to be free, which seems to have changed over the years. So I may look into that. That way you guys can Still download them for free if you want, or if you're willing to support me, you can chip in $1 or $2. The main issue with that, though, would be I would need to get enough tracks together to put into an album. That way you can select from the album, and that's around 10 to 15 or sometimes 20 songs, and it may be some time in between arrangements, so it may be a while you guys are waiting, and I'm not sure you guys would like that. So it's just stuff I'm thinking about. But for the time being, though, I will still continue to use YouTube as the main outlet with MediaFire links when I can. For the ScareCade album, unfortunately, I won't provide MediaFire download links. I will, again, redirect you to the Louder page just to help with that. But any changes won't be immediate, and so that's just stuff I'm working on there. I'm also working on composing for a game. I will let you guys know more about that when the game's further along in development. Indie project. We have a Wii U developer license. A little bit worried we won't be able to get this project done before the NX comes out, but what can you do? So look forward to that. I'm using Super Nintendo instruments for the soundtrack. It'll be great. If Undertale can get away with it, surely I can. Let's see. There was also an issue a couple months ago. I know some of you guys would like .NSF files for some of my music. In particular, it was the Phoenix Wright Objection 2013 arrangement I did using FamiTracker. I had previously said that I only wanted to provide MP3s or WAV files, and the reason for that is I want this music to be the kind of music that, like, if you want to listen to it just with your headphones in the car, on trips, out walking, like it was intended for general use playback, and maybe fan games or independent projects that use other playable file types like that, music file types. The .NSF files, usually when I hear about that, I get a little confused as to why you guys might want to listen to that. I can understand there is somewhat of a demand for that, just because it's neat to play those back in certain players, and they can be used with ROM hacks and emulation, which I don't really support, by the way. Just wanted to throw that out there real quick. But I did try to make an NSF file for that one. It didn't work, actually. I tried that just a little while ago because I wanted to make sure I had no loose ends anymore, and there's some issues with exporting that file, and I'm not sure I can actually provide that file as a .NSF file. It seems that FamiTracker has a glitch with the coding where if, maybe not necessarily a glitch, but it gets overloaded with there being a lot of DPCM instrument samples, and what that means, for those of you who are not familiar with FamiTracker, is there are a number of games that you can that used preloaded sound samples that were compressed. A good example, Super Mario Bros. 3 used that for drums. Most of the games that use that feature use them for drums. I think Kirby's Adventure was one as well. And so I also used it for drums in that Objection remix. It seems to be that when you try to export as an NSF file, if there's too many instances of DPCM samples being loaded, FamiTracker just crashes when you try to do it. And I don't want to have to change the song to make that work for it, because that would just get rid of half the drum beat, if not all of it, for the song. So unfortunately, I don't think I can actually provide that. I know some of you guys want copies of the .ftm file, which is the FamiTracker working file. I will never provide that, or my working Modplug Tracker files. Reason being is that those files are the only way I can prove I made those, and if anyone else has them, I'm sorry, I just don't trust the internet, because as an artist, I know a lot about people stealing work and things like that, and I just wanted to avoid that at all possible costs. I know that makes me look a little too paranoid and unwilling to cooperate, and I apologize for that. That's just a personal thing I have and something I need to do to protect my creations. So again, sorry I haven't gotten that to work yet. I will see if I can get that NSF file to work at some point. If the tracks I have, if there are any music pieces that I have that do not use those samples and you guys want them, I can try making NSF files for that, but can't guarantee they'll work or if they'll export properly. This is not something I've really researched with FamiTracker a whole lot, but I do want to thank you guys for your patience with all of this, and I want to also reiterate that any changes with how I distribute my music will not be immediate. So I have the ScareCade album. I'll be uploading those tracks to YouTube within the next week. I will also be working on the game album I mentioned. I have another project or two in the works that I'm not ready to disclose with you guys yet. Not anything to get too excited about, just a concept album, and I am working on a children's illustrated book, and I will be sure to update you guys when that's out. If any of you are into children's poetry or have kids or know people with kids that might like some picture books, we have one in the works. Apart from that, I guess that's everything. I will continue to work on music and hope to be able have some more stuff to show soon. At the moment, I guess that's it. Thank you all very much again for your support over the years, and I look forward to more good days to come.